everybody, this is Rosa Sharon, and I'm back again with another book review. I just recently read Coach Wooden and Me, Our 50-Year Friendship on and Off the Court. But, written by Kareem Abdul Jabar. And actually, that wasn't his real name when he was younger. His actual name was Lou Alcindor. And he grew up in a Catholic household. And it was only later in life that he decided to convert to Islam. And of course, Coach Wooden was very strong in his convictions. And he said, if you don't believe in Jesus Christ, you're going to go straight to hell. And Lou never really thought anything of it. He just thought that's just how he believes, how fervent he is, how stalwart he is as a Christian. And he's just standing up for what he believes is right. And he never looked at him sideways and wondering exactly why he did that. He respected him. And growing up as this young man, he learned that it wasn't about showboating when he was on the court. It was more about working with his fellow teammates, and he taught him about success. He was concerned for the team when the team would have sexual escapades. He was very much against them being foolhardy when they were out, and he was kind of against interracial dating. But he wasn't a racist. He was anything but. And of course they talked about my hometown and how there had been some connections to the KKK, which is true, even though the KKK has its origins in Kokomo, which a lot of people don't know. A lot of people like to gloss over that, but it's true. The history is true. It's Kokomo, not Martinsville, so please get that right so I don't have to correct you. We're not a bunch of racists in my hometown. Okay, I got that off my chest. But anyway, Martinsville isn't all that bad. There's not a lot to do there, but still. It's where I grew up, so I've got to stick up for it. Even though I was born in Bloomington, and a lot of people think that I'm a little bit high and mighty for admitting that, but despite that, moving on. Talks about his pyramid of success and growing up in the small town, having been there, and then becoming this sought-after guru who was the most winning coach in all of basketball history. And he did it in a rather contradictory way. It wasn't about winning. It was more about concerning oneself with how you presented yourself on the basketball court, courtesy, being polite, working together, thinking about the possibility of losing. He didn't talk about winning. He never really emphasized that. It was more of a sort of backward way of thinking about it, but he won many, many games using that strategy. It's reverse psychology, I do believe. And I really liked it. I enjoyed it immensely. How Coach actually thought, and it brought to light that Coach Wooden wasn't perfect because he had a really bad temper, and he actually punched somebody. And Kareem talks about that, and I thought, whoa, really? I thought, holy cow, jeez Louise. I mean, what did someone do to make him so mad to knock someone's block off? But he had to deal with that over time. It was one of his flaws, and just how he dealt with his anger. And I thought, yeah, I can definitely relate to that. Because my favorite sin is wrath, unfortunately. But it it doesn't come out that often. I'm more even keel and much more laid back. But beyond that, I must say that if you're like me, if you love Coach Wooden and the legacy that he left behind even after his death, then this is a book that's just incredible. And it also talks about race relations and how that's changed over the years, and how some things haven't changed. Now some things have been brought to light and makes it more challenging. But I think that they've improved, honestly. Maybe I'm a little bit naive about that, but I like to think that race relationships have improved in our country. We've got some ways to go, but granted, I think that we're going to get there eventually, and we're going to learn that we're all a part of this planet together, and we have to work as one in order for us to all survive. But I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things I'm doing. Of course, the big news is, yes, I'm going to Israel. As far as the concert, I am going to a Pentatonics concert in September. And luckily it's on a Saturday, so I don't really have to worry about feeling completely enervated and plotzing the next day when I go to work. And that'll be good. But I really wanted to go to see Ninja Sex Party, but I'm not going to be able to. I thought about the whole process of it, and it's all in all, it's going to cost me way too much money to actually go and see Dan, unless some sort of miracle happens and I can go. But I don't know, it's just so hard, and I realize that it's going to cost me quite a bit of money and time and effort, and it's just too much to ask for one person alone. And if I had somebody going with me, maybe I would feel a little bit more comfortable, but I don't have that luxury right now, so I can't. It's not worthwhile. What else do I want to say? Other things that I'm working on. I haven't really started writing Spirit Animal, but I'm going to get there. Kitsune is another one I'm calling. Yeah, it's called Kitsune. Foxy Lady. It's not called Kitsune, even though I wanted to call it that. Sword to Bear is a new one. I'm not going to talk about what it's about. Spandex Butterfly is going to be about Denny Avedon. I'm actually going to write to he and Brian and ask him if I can do that, because I don't want to just write it without having their full disclosure and having that ability, because I've really been inspired by him as of late. I don't know, a lot of other people have. I think he's a good man. I think that he has a big heart, and I feel like I myself should do that as well, just because I'm an ENFJ just like him. So I want to go out and I want to help people help themselves. And then the other one I have is called Soulmates. It's not spelled like you would believe the word soul is supposed to be spelled. It's spelled like the capital of Korea, of South Korea, as EOUL, because that's where it takes place. It's about two people who are kindergarten sweethearts, and then they move, they separate, and then they reunite in soul. So I thought, oh, yeah, that would definitely work, and it would make a very sweet love story. I'm working on another Three Caballeros. It's actually The Legend of Three Caballeros, which I've become obsessed with. I grew up with that, and I loved it, and I want to do cosplay as Panchito, because I think I would make a fantastic Panchito. I mean, I can be loud when I have to be. I can be kind of a Keat. A lot of people know that if they've been around me enough to know my personality. Yeah, I'm definitely a dead ringer for that. And I'm starting to get a little bit of a Hispanic accent, so yeah, it all works. This is because I've been hanging around a lot of Hispanic people, but beyond that, I really don't have that much else to say. Other projects I'm working on. One is the final script for Jimmy and Changa, which will be bittersweet for me, but it's going to be well worth it once it's done. But I've got a lot of projects on my mind. The last thing I wrote was, it was called, what did I call it? But it was Oh yeah, I called it a wild shell goose chase. A wild Baron. Wait, no, it was called a wild fawn shell goose chase. Is what I called it. And of course, Baron von Shellgoose is the villain. He's not the main villain of the Legend of the Three Caballeros. He's more of a side character than the main um, nemesis. The main villain is Feldrake, and I love Lord Feldrake. He just cracks me up. He's got to be one of the best villains, other than Hades, that I really or Lord. Excuse me, not Lord Feldrake, but Facilier. I really love those villains. Another one I really enjoy. Oh shoot, is Clayton from Tarzan. He's another one that I really like quite a bit. He stands out in my mind as probably one of the most evil, other than Syndrome. I would have to say he's up there. Pixar's Disney, so I can use him as well. But he tops my list of most hated villains. Rumple? Maybe I could throw Rumple in there. I don't know if I could. OUAT isn't really a Disney property, is it? Well, I guess I could. Maybe I can throw Rumple in there. I honestly don't have that much else to say other than that's all I'm working on at the present, but I shall see you later. Until next time. Live on and prosper. Ciao, tutti.